The Russians say they took Christianity from the Greeks. Then why they say God using the word Bog and not Theos? Theos is the Greek word means God, and Bulgarian is Bog. Can be seen from Google Translate site. Bulgarian and Russian, Ukrainian and Belarusian, probably all Eastern European countries as well. Word for God is Bog. As you can see, Bulgarian word for God is Bog. As you can see, Russian word for God is Bog, and not Theos. The same is for Ukraine and Belarus. Here's the information of Saint Andrew the Apostle. As you can see, he preached in Scythia Minor, which now is part of Bulgaria and Romania. He also was in Odysseus, which is the name of a Bulgarian city of Varna at that time, the 1st century. Using book from 1910 year, Krovat Bulgaria and Baptizing Bulgarians, written by Gonchotsanov. As you can see, the apostles Paul, also known as Pavel and Andrew in Bulgarian, and many Eastern European Andrei, have created Bulgarian Christian Church. Translating the lines in English using Google Translate site. Bulgarians are the first Christians in Europe. They were baptized by the apostles Paul and Andrew, and in 864 year, there was actually no conversion, but a renunciation of Bulgarian heresy. The apostles Paul and Andrew have created the Bulgarian Christian Church. You can see the history book from the issuer's site. That is the page 4 from book Krovat Bulgaria, and Baptizing Bulgarians in Christianity, written by Gonchotsanov, issued by Helio. The book is known also as Origin of Bulgarians, Beginning of Bulgarian Government, and Bulgarian Church. In the description you can find the Wikipedia page about this Bulgarian historian. The book issuer is the Heliopol. Perhaps the book can be found in some libraries in Bulgaria, due to the old publishing date. Bulgarian independent church was recognized in 870 AD. Vladimir the Great agreed to accept Christianity as his religion and to Christianize his people. The Russians, Ukraine also. Belarus was first baptized during reign of Vladimir the Great. He was called the Great because of that. What is Byzantine Church? Right means that the way all priests, all the process do in the church, are according to the way Greek does in them church. It doesn't mean Greek church, i.e. Greek, right, not the same as the Greek church. Since the Russians, Ukrainians and Belarusians say Bog for God and not Theos, neither use Greek language which is sacred as well as Bulgarian called mistakenly Church Slavonic. We can conclude that Vladimir the Great Church is created after the Bulgarian Church in Greek rite, and using Bulgarian Gospels and books in Bulgarian language. And that is why the word for God is Bog like the Bulgarians, and not Theos like the Greeks. Bulgarian alphabets, the Glagolitic and Cyrillic, was used for liturgy as early as 863 R. The year 863 is much earlier than the 987 year, when Kievan Rus became Christian. Vladimir consolidated his people by converting to Christianity in 987 year to 988 year. As doing so, he united all the people and replaced all the dialects with one language, which in fact was the sacred Bulgarian language, mistakenly called Church Slavonic. Calling Church Slavonic the alphabet and the language is not only historically wrong and illiterate, but also it is bad. To use the word Slav. The word Slav means slave in all Roman empires. The word servus and sklav was Roman words meaning slave in different ages. For that you shall see the other video. About the Sklav and Slav words. Territory from Poland to Caspian Sea up to Volga River is not possible to be protected even today, unless all the people and countries are not united to do so. As a result, that territory was used for source of slaves for Romans and Arabs, slave trade, bazaars. You can see the Veneti, i.e. Vendayar, are associated with the Slavs, between Alans, i.e. Germany, Huns, Sarmats, and Baltic Sea. In fact, the Kievan Rus was created to prevent people from being kidnapped and enslaved for slave trades in Roman Empire and other countries. So there is no such ethnic group or tribe Slavs, Slavens, or Sloveni, and therefore there is no Church Slavonic language. It is Bulgarian language, and those people was speaking different dialects of Bulgarian language, now called Old Bulgarian language. However, the development of the science was not happening in the Middle Ages, and this is in 21st century information that clarifies the mistaken word Slav. This is what you need to know for the Russian Church. It is Bulgarian Orthodox Church with Greek Rite and Bulgarian language and secret language books. Also, another mistaken word is the Byzantine Empire. There was no such. The word comes from Byzantine city, although the name was Byzantium, which Constantine the Great renamed to Constantinople and became the capital of East Roman Empire, and the name remained in history. More about Byzantium city and how that name come to history in another video. Stay tuned. Please subscribe and like the video. The Western Roman Empire, as you can see the map, from 418 year, was from Spain to the Balkans including the Pannonia. The Eastern Roman Empire expanded in 500 years under rule of Justinian I from 527 year to 565 year, who briefly reconquered much of Italy and the eastern Mediterranean coast. So this is a period of 306 to 565 year, where the Western Roman Empire and Eastern Roman Empire was fighting over the Mediterranean coast. So there is no such Byzantine Empire, and never was. Just the two Roman empires. The problem was control of the territory. As vast as it is on the map, it takes more than 3 days to send army to control the races and rebellions, and that was not sustainable. So that is why it split in two. Although the communist regimes in USSR and Bulgaria did not care much for the historical accuracy, and are known that communist historians was paid propagandists, and no true scientists, so that word became in use a big mistake, and it is hard to remove. It is about time the history to be accurate, and not calling communist historians, they was communist party propagandists, meaning liars and falsifiers, but definitely not historians. By no means any communist can be called historian. There was no such thing as Byzantine Empire, please. Stop using it. Let's summarize the date of Kievan Rus, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus First Christian Church was at 987 year, which is later than Bulgarian alphabet, and church by at least 117 years, i.e. accordingly 864 year, Bulgarian sacred alphabet, the Glagolitic, 870 year. Bulgarian independent church was recognized the year 987 is later than 870 year. Subtracting 987 minus 870 is equals to approximately 117 years later. After Bulgaria, Kievan Rus was Christian and still used Bulgarian alphabet, and Christian church is not Greek. There is no Greek language in the Christian churches in Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus. It is impossible to train people to read and write in any sacred language, and translate from any sacred language to Russian, which in fact is Old Bulgarian, so the Gospels to be used for 1 year, i.e. 987 to 988, the date of Vladimir baptism. Vladimir. Churches just used Bulgarian Gospels, and just some priests was reading them. It is possible for 1 year to learn to read Bulgarian and preach. Please subscribe and like the video.